Do you guys just want to just dive into it?
You have a very nice setup, nice team over there.
Yeah.
Just wanted to ask a couple of basic questions, and the main burning question is, you're quite diverse. Everyone has its own role within the team. Um, how did you guys meet? How did you guys start?
That's this guy right here.
Oh, yeah, I'm Yim.
Mm.
So I'm co-founder with Ryan, with open up the TCD. And then
Yeah.
I'm a friend of On when we was in we were in
High
like
school.
high school, like elementary school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he just came to join us a year later.
Yeah.
To start the TCD together.
And
And then
when
I
was
met
this?
2016. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, something around there. And then I just met Woman Surya on Facebook because Ryan wants to find like cacao in Thailand. So I met them on Facebook, and then we just go take a look at their farms, and then we all like right here right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I always had this yearning to work with. I established Parliament Chocolate in 2013, and I've been traveling around, seeing different types of processes, fermentation facilities in other countries. But I started my culinary industry when I was young, and at a Thai restaurant in my local town in California, and worked for this family for 10 years. And so once we started Parliament, I always had this dream of working with Thai cacao, and me and Yim sort of grew up together. I would come to Thailand and I would hang out with him and his family. So first time I came to Thailand was when I was 14, and we met each other not too much later. And so so I told Yim when we opened up Parliament, hey, can we find cacao growing somewhere? I don't know. I knew at the time Maru was growing and processing in Vietnam. I had no idea whether or not they were processing in Thailand. And so Yim went on this mission looking for anybody that was growing cacao at the time, which we didn't think anybody was until he found Boom and Sodia on Facebook in 2015. And then we came back in 2016 and met up with them down at the farm before it was even a fermentery or processing facility.
So it almost sounds like the seeds were already planted before you knew.
Yes, so we can explain that a little bit and what they were doing with the seedlings and processing at the time. So
okay, back at that time, we have one co-op that promote farmer to grow cacao in Canterbury region like 10 years ago before we met them. But our farmers sell to co-op like in the fresh pot format. Just that, and with a quite commodity grade, it's quite low price, like 10 years ago. And then they just start, they just start like asking themselves that how can they add more value for the cacao. And yeah, it's around 2018. So that is the reason behind that they create the Facebook account, and that how Jim met them at that time. Yeah.
At that time, they selling only the pot and selling seedlings. Yeah.
So who were they selling the pods to?
Co-op.
To co-op.
Co-op. But then there was a time where they stopped selling to the co-op, right? The co-op shut down and they were just growing.
Yeah, after that they have one big company back then. They produce powder, something like that, and they closed down for the time that we met them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all the farmers were just stranded, and then they were just growing cacao with no market to sell to before we started working with them.
And where did the first seedlings come from? It's because a little bit more about the genetics. It's the Shumfon. It's not one of the varieties that's well known in like the international marketplace. So how did it get there into the Thai market?
Yeah, we have a research center in the southern part of Thailand. They have been researched the cacao for like 30 years ago. and they bring the cacao from the Malaysia and from the Reading University in the UK and the state as well, and then trying to grow in the southern part of Thailand and do the research, and they come up with this kind of hybrid is productive in Thailand. So they name it like Chumpon One and distribute
Yeah.
to all the farmers. That's why you can see the 30 years old trees in Thailand because they
Yeah.
start like 30 years ago. But
Yeah.
generally, mainly the average age is about 10 years cacao.
Right. And we all know like the three main varieties, the you know, Forastero, Criollo, and Trinitario. Is there like one mother group that you know has created this Chumpan variety, or has it been a hybrid from all three of them?
I can say that they hybrid from all three of them.
Yeah.
Because we bring the one that we promote is it is from Malaysia.
Right.
Yeah, the main one. It's a PA cross NA. So
Yeah.
I can say that it's quite hybrid.
It's also somewhat lighter brown in color, I would say, than
Yes.
you know, for example, a Forastero. So you really can see that it has its own characteristics.
It has a lot of shapes and visual comparisons to like Paradinho and Pata, like the Brazilian varieties.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think visually it looks a lot like Milanado.
Amanonado.
So I mean, to trace back like exactly where it came from, I mean, I feel like so some of the first stuff that came through to Indonesia, which was
Yeah.
the first region to come into Asia. I think there's a lot of visual comparison to that too. So I don't know if it eventually throughout the last couple hundred years somehow popped up and popped
Yeah.
into the Malaysia and then Malaysia up to Thailand. So it's some of the first genetics to arrive, I think, into Asia. Yeah.
One of the first beans that
So-
have been brought to Indonesia or were also criollos, which are currently known as the light breaking beans. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And there's definitely a lot of very light, very violet colored beans throughout these pods. So we're finding them a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, we would love to do genetic testing on them to actually get true traceability. Now focus is more on the fermentation and drying than the genetics, because we know the beans are good. So I mean, we know the beans make good chocolate, and that's like our main focus is making great chocolate and producing great cacao for the market.
Yeah.
And so, but eventually, I mean, that it is a dream to send it out and actually do a traceability and testing on that. So
yeah. How long did it take for you to come up with the right fermentation, with the right drying? Could you tell a little bit more about that? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we're still working on that fundamentally. I mean, we're
Right.
always learning and always trying to achieve better. Every year, something throws us into a loop, whether it's a really rainy season, whether it's a really dry season, whether we need to irrigate, whether we need to pull off on irrigation. So there's always challenges. Trimming, we're finding, so we're currently in a region called Pechabum. And we're finding that there's not very much irrigation in this region. And because of that, we're seeing a lot of germinated beans within the pods. And so that's a big challenge for us right now in this region. And then one of the problems that we tackled probably pretty close to the first, we were getting a lot of farmers harvesting unripe pods. And this was when we were first starting. And so we had to train our team to go out and look for what a ripe pod was and what the definition of ripe pod would be to harvest, what to look for, scrape tests on the side of the pod. And then once you get into that rhythm, then the team knew exactly what to look for. So definitely different types of challenges year to year that we're always learning and just trying to grow and become better. So
yeah. So since 2016, What are the like small little milestones that you're proud of that you have achieved with with the whole team?
Well, first and foremost, working with people like you. I mean, to getting to getting these beans into the market and showing the world that Thailand actually has some possibly award-winning cocoa beans. I mean, that's I think everybody's dream here. Just to put Thailand on the map for cacao is really what's instilled in, I think, all of us. And I mean, that's answering from me personally, and I can let everybody else answer, but I sort of jumped on the phone there. So yeah,
sure.
On anyone, I mean, they can, yeah.
ถ้าเป็นเพลงในโกโก้ไทยเลยที่คาดหวัง
คืออยากให้คนทั่วไทยเป็นที่รู้จักคนทั่วโลกอยากแต่ว่าอยากให้เป็น
เราจะทำเมล็ดที่
เราจะพยายามทำเมล็ดให้ดีที่สุด
ไม่ที่เขาคาดหวังจะไปใช่ไหม
Yeah, it's quite like Ryan that they would like to put the Thai cacao in the map because it's like quite new for audience there, right? Yeah. So, I mean, Movement Surya, what they say.
Yeah.
For me, as a chocolate maker as well, so yeah, I have tried from bad to bad, and I see the potential as well, and yeah, I would like to develop to help everyone here. To help each other to make to that certain level. Yeah.
I mean, we're jumping into, so Thailand doesn't really have an established cacao presence within the industry. We're starting from the beginning when it comes to Thailand. So we want to, like I said, our vision is to put Thailand on the map as a grade A quality, ethical industry and the best possible quality beans coming out of this country. And so, like I said, I mean, we're at the beginning of this and sort of creating a roadmap for everybody else around us that wants to sort of start that in Thailand as well. And so you see a lot of other small fermenters and processors coming out of here too, following our ideology and our ethics and creating the best quality beans that you can see that coming out of the market. So that's sort of what we're instilling in Thailand.
Yeah, I had a couple of questions. Like, what are your maybe like your future plans or something that you're looking forward to achieving as a team? Do you have like a main goal, like a star goal?
Yeah. I mean, right now we're just sort of week to week, month to month. We don't forecast too much just because you never know. I mean, what you're going to run into and what fire you're going to have to put out, what you're going to have to tackle. I personally feel like if you forecast too far ahead, you lose sight in the present. Just because there's so much that can happen. And so we've sort of fallen by that rule. I mean, just because you never know with weather or with, I don't know, feasibility, but I think Boom and Studio can sort of answer that question too on what they see as the future and what they envision too.
เห็นได้วางเป้าหมายหรือว่ามองตัวเองในอนาคตยังไงไหมครับสำหรับไทยที่คิดไว้
เป้าหมายเนาะ
แค่คาดหวังไม่หมายถึงว่าเห็นไทยกับไทยฟ้าด้วยกับอุตสาหกรรม
ก็คือเราวางนะเพราะว่ามันมีไปทั้งหมด
มองตัวเองไว้อย่างไร
ก็มอง
ก็เราจะทำอะไรให้
ตัวเองก็คือไม่อยากไปให้มันไปได้ให้ดีที่สุดอ่ะเท่าที่มันจะไปได้ดีที่สุด
Yeah. So they don't know how can they go, but it's gonna do best for like at the moment because because many uncertainty happening as well.
And in terms of like the farmer network that you guys have, how has it been for you to approach them? How have they been like receiving how you work with them? How do you organize that?
I'll let you guys answer that.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, we separate into like 4 main gathering team for the fresh and wet bean. and then we will send to Women Surya facility. We have centralized facility to ferment and dry at Women Surya home. And so we collect all the cacao around Chantaburi region as a pot and wet beans, and then sent to Women Surya
Okay.
to control all the quality there.
I just want to say congratulations for what you're doing. And it's also for me really inspiring to see like young people and to see like Women Surya. It's for me, it's really cool to see a woman also working in cocoa. So I'm also interested to hear like your perspective and how do you feel in the team, and do you work with other women as well? I don't know. I'm interested to hear your opinion.
มีแบบฟาร์มเมอร์ที่เป็นผู้หญิงหรือว่าใครรอบๆจันทบุรีมั่งไหมครับที่ส่งมา
ดีค่ะก็หลายคน
ครอบครัวหรือว่าเป็น
ครัวส่วนใหญ่เราทำเป็นครอบครัวคนไทยจะผู้หญิงจะเป็นผู้นำและสุด
she make some joke here. So actually we each family they work like as a family for each farm, right? But mostly a woman is the head of that farm, head of each farm. Yeah. So yeah, many women in chocolate supply chain here in Thailand, especially in Chantaburi.
Okay. Wow.
Boom is literally the rock of everything that's.
Yeah, you can see here.
I mean, Boom is the one that gets everything done, and she doesn't sort of. How do I explain it? I mean, she doesn't put up with anybody's shit. So she's like seriously, like she is like the one that sort of gives directive and puts people in the places where they need to be at the right times. I mean, she is just like, and both Boom and Surya have been so. They're wanting and they're yearning for information and just to learn. And all of this has been a learning process for all of this. But I mean, them and the family and all of the other families have in this region that we're working in Chantaburi. I mean, yeah. Do you want to explain that to Boom what I said on and just like get her take on that?
เขาถามว่าแบบมีผู้หญิงในช็อกโกแลตแล้วเป็นยังไงอะไรยังไงบ้างแล้วก็บอกว่าตอนนั้นบอกว่าจริงๆแล้วคุณผมแบบสูตรทุกอย่างคอยบอกแนวทางแล้วก็ทำรู้สึกอยากให้เสร็จคือแบบเป็นหัวโจกของทีมงานของเราอะไรแบบนี้
Does she agree?
And she agrees.
Yeah.
And most
Wow.
we can see most of the families like this. Yeah.
Okay.
In Chantaburi.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Boom. That's amazing.
Yes.
And I also wanted to say, I think that your team is quite unique in the sense that you have like the culinary, the chocolate maker, and the farmer perspective. And I think that that's quite rare to find that in a cocoa team. It would be interesting to hear like just a little bit about like each of your background and for you to share how you work together.
Yeah, for me, I think like every time I work, I think like everyone that work with me, they are family, like my family. So we gonna help each other and try to develop like every step to make like good product and good work.
And a bit about your background.
My background, I have another 2 business companies, and this TCD is the one of my business. So
Okay.
yeah, I'll try to like
Ian-
more proud.
Jim runs he does all the finance and all the money part of stuff. So every time money goes out, money comes in, allocating everything, pro formas, that kind of stuff. That's what Yim's on board for the part that most people don't enjoy doing, but Yim loves it. So
No, I don't love it.
everybody has their integrated roles. So yeah.
Well,
For me, right?
On, yeah.
Yeah, for me, my background is industrial engineering and logistics. So I take care of the distribution, import, export things. Yeah, for TCD as well. So I take care of all the documentation and export process to you guys. Yeah, and yeah, I chocolate maker myself, so I test and feedback everything to our farmer and Ryan and to our team as well because we am here in Thailand. So yeah, so we can communicate like this.
You want to explain sort of?
Yes, so yeah,
Yeah,
Surya is the main the head of fermentation, Women Surya, based in the Chantaburi. For this they own the farm as well and centralize all the fermentation at their house. Yeah, so for the fermentation and the dyeing base, everything built in their house. Yeah, so they control and monitor all the fermentation process.
so they literally walk out their front door and
Yeah.
they've got fermenting boxes and we're singing karaoke to the fermentation boxes and we've got karaoke set up and so it's an incredible experience being able to go to their home and feast and sing and have some singha and
Yeah. Actually, whole
Yeah.
family.
yeah.
A part of Bumsiliya, they have sister and yeah, they're related to help each other for the fermentation process. We haven't hired any people a part of them.
And then
Yes, they-
Boom's brother also works with us, right? Your brother?
Yeah.
And
All the whole family.
yeah. So it's a family affair.
Yeah.
Oh, I sort of said, I mean, I sort of explained what my background's definitely culinary arts. I mean, I went to culinary school. And like I said, I worked in at a Thai restaurant when I was that's how I started my culinary industry. I worked for this family for 10 years and went traveling back and forth with them to Thailand just to be with the family. And that's how I got to know Yim. And fell in love with the culture, fell in love with the food. I mean, it's just Thailand is there's not really words to explain how I feel. Like I'm so emotionally invested in this place, and it's really a part of who I am. And I feel like, I mean, this is my family. We really are family together. And I know we keep saying that over and over again. It's probably sounds like word vomit, but I mean, I'm serious. We are just like we're so connected to each other, and we are so keen on hearing each other out, retaining each other with information. And so I wanted to bring my culinary side and the chocolate side to this side to Thailand, and that's sort of where it came into play. So taste testing and understanding fermentation and the science of fermentation is really what I've put my focus in the chocolate industry and trying to understand and trying to push that forward. And so molecular gastronomy, the science of cuisine has always been my understanding. And so that's sort of my background, and that's where we applied it to what we're doing now. So,
Nice.
yeah.
It sounds like a solid team.
Oh, we are. Yeah.
And I guess one last thing would be, is there anything that you'd really like people to know about your team, about your cacao? Like one or two things that you think would be really important for chocolate makers to know? Or that you'd
I
like
think
to
that
share?
would be a good question for Boom and Sudia to answer, if that's okay. So do you want to?
มีอะไรที่แบบอยากให้ทุกคนรู้ไหมครับ เกี่ยวกับที่สิ่งที่เราทำให้ทุกคนรู้ว่า มันเป็นยังไงให้ช็อกโกแลตเมกเกอร์ทุกคนได้รู้ว่ามีเรื่องอะไรที่เราอยากจะเล่ากับฟัง
อันเนี้ยเรื่องราวที่เราทำ
จริงแบบอยากให้ทุกคนรู้ของพวกเรา
อยากให้ทุกคนข้างนอก
ใช่
ไม่ใช่การช็อกโกแลตด้วยกันช็อกโกแลต
ข้างนอกไม่บอกว่าอย่าทำอะไรแห้งเลยนะ
ได้ต้องมี
ช็อกโกแลตอะได้รู้ว่าเรา
เราตั้งใจท
พยายามตั้งใจแม้เราจะเหนื่อยมันจะเยอะจะเหนื่อยคือมันไม่ใช่แค่เรามันมีเกษตรกรที่อยู่ข้างหลังด้วย ที่เขาก็ยอมเหนื่อย เพื่อมาแล้วก็ดูแลคุณภาพของผลผลิตเพื่อมาส่งให้เราแล้วเราก็ทำคุณภาพเป็นแห้งนั่นคือความพยายามของเราที่ส่งให้เราถึงอยากทำสิ่งที่มันดีที่สุดไปให้กับเขาอะไรอย่างเงี้ย
So she's trying to say that it's not as easy job for not only themselves, but for the farmer that need to deliver and convey the quality, everything that we trying to communicate all the chain. But she trying to do their best for chocolate makers out there.
Well, thank you.
Very
Thank you so
precious.
much
Yeah.
for your time and congratulations. We like commend you and this like amazing team and for putting, you know, Thai Cacao on the map. And we're also really happy and proud to be working with you. And we're also going to do our best so that we can share your message with other chocolate makers. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
ขอบคุณมากครับ ใช่
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so
Kupumaka.
much.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll talk to
Thank you very much for taking time, everyone. And
Yes.
you know, our idea is always to start working with someone and then to stick to the team for a lifetime. So
Beautiful.
hopefully we meet in person very soon.
Beautiful. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Thank you
All right.
so
Well,
much.
thank you again, everybody. Thank you so much. Well, I'll see you too soon. Okay.
See you soon, Ryan.
right.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Thanks
All
for
right. Thank
everything.
you.